So here's the deal. I'm not just coming right out and giving you the actual inequality like, oh, hey, here, it's already figured out, solve it, or graph it. I'm not even giving you a sentence. I'm giving it to you written like this. 2 is less than x plus 5, which is less than or equal to 9. So, no words. You have to solve it. Okay? I know. It looks weird, but I'm going to show you a super cool trick. First of all, make sure you understand what this is. This is, if you're done, you could just toss it in the bin and you're good to go. This is, the x plus 5 is in the middle because the 9 and the 2 are sharing it. This means I really, if I wanted to pull this apart, thank you, I could make 2 separate inequalities. I could say, well, really what they're asking me to do is this problem, and they're also asking me to do this problem. So look, the x plus 5 is in the middle because it's being shared. Do you see what I mean? Are we going to break it apart and solve each separate inequality? No, you're going to save yourself some time. Watch this. It's actually pretty cool. So if your goal is to get x by itself, what do I need to do? Minus 5. Now here's the thing. Normally you say minus 5 from both sides, but both means 2. How many sides do you see here? 3. So not only do I have to subtract from the middle, I have to subtract it from the left and the right. So this is a 3-sided inequality. You have a middle, a left, and a right. And whatever you do, you got to do it to all 3 of them. Okay? So if I have to subtract 5 to get rid of it, I got to do it on the left and on the right also. And that's going to leave me with negative 3 is less than x, which is less than or equal to 4. And now does that look like something we are familiar with? And now can we graph it? Okay. If you have to pull it apart to graph it, fine. I really want you to try to be able to go right from here. Oh, right off the bat, is this an and or an or? It's an and. How do I know? Because only ands can be written combined. So I know that this is an and because you're going to have ands or ors because it's combined. You can't combine ors. So if they're both going the same way, I know I'm going to try to get fancy on this one. I'm not going to use like 2 different colors. I'm going to do it in one clean swoop. So watch. Here's my all numbers less than or equal to 4. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going until it tells me that I have to stop, because not only do I have to be less than or equal to 4, it also has to be greater than 3. And that is your solution. So you don't really see overlap because I didn't graph them as 2 separate lines. Do some of you need to go back to graphing them as 2 separate lines and seeing 2 different colors and then shading overlap? Fine. If you understand it and this makes sense to you, do that. But not if it's going to throw you off, okay? All right, good. How about this one? I got to throw in a, let's do an or. Let's say 2x plus 3 is less than 9, or 3x minus 6 is greater than 12. So guess what? Because it's an or, you don't have a choice. You have to solve them as 2. It's like 2 problems in one. Solve this one, solve this one. At the end, you have 2 separate inequalities. Graph them. Okay? So let's subtract 3. I'm going to fly through this. You probably are already doing it. Hey, stop. Did I divide by a negative? No. If I would have, what would I have done? Flipped the sign. X is less than 3. Okay, I got my first one. So now I'm going to solve my second one. Okay, I'm going kind of fast. You guys should be solving these equations pretty quickly now. All right, I got them. They got to stay separate. Don't combine them. Question?
If you could flip this sign, would it be an
no. Nope, it wouldn't flip it, no. Okay, so here's 0, here's 3, here's 6. Where, I'll go with 2 again. Where are all the numbers on this number line less than 3? This way. Where are all the numbers on this number line greater than 6? This way. So while this is an acceptable answer, can you think of a snazzier way to say it? If you want those 4s on your test, show me that you can interpret this graph. What does it mean? So basically, x just can't be what? 3, 4, 5, or 6. Watch for those open circles. 3, 4, 5, and 6. This would be an example of a time that I would want you to do that because we're talking about less than 5 numbers, okay? All right, I have one more to show you, and then you know how to write them, graph them, and now solve them. So, last problem. -1 is less than or equal to -5t plus 2, which is less than or equal to 4. So, watch this. If I were to start out, first of all, you always cancel that constant. Subtract it from the middle, then you have to subtract it from the left and the right. You're not going to get these on the same side. You are not trying to combine like terms like that. This is 3 separate sides. So this leaves you with -3 is less than or equal to -5t, which is less than or equal to 2. What is my next step? Divide by what? A -5. Let's see what that means. It means if I divide the middle by -5, I have to divide the left by -5, I have to divide the right by -5, and be careful. You know what I'm going to do before I even start to figure stuff out? I'm going to flip them right away. That way, I know I remembered to do it. Now I got a little bit of cleanup here. What's a negative divided by a negative? Positive. That canceled. And this leaves me with this. And so now I went from a multi-step inequality like that. I have -1, 0, +1. This is 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, -1/5, 2/5, 3/5. And now you know the drill from there. So if I'm covering this up, where are all the numbers greater than or equal to a -2/5? Now, I'm going to do this. I'll use my blue again. So I'm going to do this and color it in, and that goes this way. I'm going to find, be careful, +3/5, and I want all the numbers that are, what's the nose mean? Less than it. And I'm going to go this way. But I don't really care about the orange and not blue. I don't really care about the blue and not orange, because what am I looking for in an and? Overlap. Okay? So, while this is an okay answer, actually, I mean, could you list these? Sure. Could it be -2/5? Yes. Then could it also be -1/5? 0, +1/5, +2/5, +3/5. That's good too. So those are all the numbers x could equal. So you know in an and, your additional is going to be, this. But you know in an or, your additional will usually be what x could not equal. Did you catch that? Okay, Savannah?
Why would it go from 2 over 2 divided by -5 to -2?
Oh, just because a positive divided by a negative is a negative. Oh, the negative can go anywhere. The negative can go anywhere. My habit is that I put negative signs with numerators, yes.
Wouldn't -2/5 not be on that list? So it's equal to -2/5?
Right, so because this is an and, I'm saying these are all possibilities that are in my solution. I think you're thinking, yes, you were thinking of the ors, which it could not be. Okay, do you understand how to write, graph, and solve compound inequalities? Okay, awesome.